Lady Emily.
Holmes groaned audibly enough for the classroom to hear. He may have had an effect on most, but one particular student remained content to lunch despite him.
Bollocks. Someone.
A dreaded question mark.
Think it might be my character? I don't know.
Go for it, Kelly.
Guess we'll see.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. The first cup of tea is always the most refreshing, isn't it? My queen's wear set was the right choice. It suits me perfectly today.
The girl, seemingly without a care for her surroundings, had placed her teacup on her delicately decorated desk. Between her tableware and tablecloth, she was equipped less for a classroom and more for a canteen. There laid steaming tea, various pristinely sliced sandwiches, scrummy-looking bread, and tauntaun for dessert, more than enough for one lady. Tea poured from the carafe is meant to be cold, but the smell wafting through the room was as sweet as it was warm. It was a small wonder she was able to set it up so quickly. Goodness, I thought the entire room lost their appetite, but far from it with her. I don't know if we were properly introduced. Oh, she spotted me. Her hair, glossy as spider silk, was so refined that not a single hair was out of place, and its pale shade made me compliment a delicately light, unblemished complexion. I saw her uncommonly large eyes made somehow larger by how she started unblinkingly in my direction. I wondered briefly if I may have been schoolmates with a doll. I dared myself to engage her. Hello, I just wanted to tell you I'm rather impressed with your meal. Do you normally lunch this way?
Yes, I do.
How lovely. I ate in the courtyard yesterday, so I didn't notice. My most beautiful cook that made everything look so appetizing.
Not at all. I cook this myself. In fact, I make a habit of baking bread every morning using my grandmother's special recipe.
Incredible! I'm so impressed. All by herself, I had to observe her meal again. How doubly delectable with this new information in mind. Oh, pardon me. I've not properly introduced myself. I'm
Our new schoolmate, Miss Emily Whiteley, yes? I've seen you in the morning paper. I hear you're a detective of Her Majesty's also. My name is Sarah Marple.
Where have I heard Marple before? Ah, yes, you danced expertly in our class on proper etiquette. Now I'm even more impressed.
You really think so? I've never met someone so easily impressed with every little thing before. You're a funny girl. If you wouldn't mind, would you like to lunch together?
Box is an idea. I took a seat and opened my lunchbox next to Marple's. The more I see it, the more mouth-watering your cooking looks, and the tea smells just wonderful.
Thank you. Come, now I'll use this to wipe your hands.
Marple handed me a petite napkin. Thank you.
Here you are, a tomato and cheese sandwich.
She waited till I finished wiping my hands properly before handing me some of her food. You're too kind. Oh, it's scrumptious.
And this too, an apricot tart.
One moment, please. I need to boost Kelly's volume.
Oh. Maybe I should adjust mine as well.
Noise music.
Agreed. Proceed.
And this too.
Dessert too? You spoil me.
How does it taste?
Like heaven.
Someone is unusually chipper this morning. What are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm feeding her.
You're feeding her.
She's had a sandwich and dessert already. She's the most fascinating pup girl.
Viewing where?
Oh? And why are those cheeks puffing out so much?
Stop! That tickles! I couldn't decide with how she prodded my cheeks if she was being affectionate or cruel. Yet the two of us eating together appeared to soften the atmosphere of the room in a way that was very much needed.
Son, why don't you voice female student A?
Making me hungry.
Nika, you can voice female student B.
Thank you. Same for me. Shall we eat then?
One after another, the students began to take out their lunchboxes. I suppose Marple's relaxed temperament was infectious.
A bit silly, aren't they? Can't imagine why they thought going hungry was a good idea.
Marple, who had remained expressionless to a polished degree until then, presented the smallest hint of a smile. I rather like that soft smile.
Well, you don't see that every day. Bit eerie when she does it, though.
Pet therapy can do wonders.
I'm surprised you know... Wait a minute. Don't call Emily a pet.
I never directly called her anything. At any rate, we should eat as well before the hour's over.
They thought they were speaking in whispers, but I could hear them clear as day. That Holmes and Watson too, they think they could say whatever they please. Marple, small smile now gone, spared her attention for something out the window. It was subtle, but her manner now struck me as apprehensive. Oh dear, is something the matter, Marple?
No, nothing.
She sharply turned away from the window, but that same apprehension remained. But, surprise, wide eyes came about from my protest, but it did not last. It was seconds later that the manner she tried to hide returned.
I promise, nothing is wrong. Now, would you be so kind as to help me tidy my desk?
Certainly, I'll take the tableware. A hard push from behind came as I was carrying Marple's plates.
A load of rubbish. Someone.
Yeah, I'll just fill in really quick and you figure it out. Woof!
I nearly lost my balance, but was able to wrap myself before dropping anything. Not so for the one who bumped into me. Sprawled on the floor was a handsome boy with a beautiful head of blonde hair. Though he wore a correct uniform, his spectacles had tilted off from the fall. You know, I'm sure I've seen this from him before.
Mr. Jordan, will you please?
Sorry, Miss Whiteley.
He was positively frantic, much more than anyone else in his position would have been.
I don't know how I tripped over the corner of the desk. Are you alright?
How shall I answer? I'll say rot as rain. Rot as rain. I'm tougher than I look. See? I presented a cheerful smile before reaching out my hand.
Are you? Well, I suppose as much.
Huh?
Oh. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Are you hurt at all?
Lupine, did you fall and make a mess of things again? Those glasses are much too strong for you, aren't they?
Marple wasted no time with permissions, instead reaching straight for his spectacles.
These are expensive! And I'm quite fond of them, so you can't take them.
I'm only doing this for your benefit. What if you were to fall down the stairs from the second floor and break that fragile neck of yours? Knowing you would surely die.
I'll be very careful not to do that.
You needn't worry at all, because I'll catch you if that happens.
Oh, you're so valiant. I always admired women like you. Strong, dependable, kind.
Emily, you are a daughter of House Whiteley, yes? You weren't raised chasing wolves around the countryside?
Your imagination is more wild than my childhood, but it's true I was raised in the countryside. I only returned to London recently.
Really? I only came to London when I enrolled in the academy. Did I ever say my name? It's John Lupine.
I don't believe so, so I'm glad you did so now. It's a pleasure, Lupine.
And the same to you, Miss Whiteley. Well then, till next time.
Lupine adjusted himself before returning to his seat.
Quite a shock to learn you grew up in the countryside as well.
As well? Is it the same for you?
When I was a little girl, yes. I used to bake bread, biscuits, and scones in a massive coal-fired oven, together with my grandmother.
That sounds wonderful.
Emily, would you mind joining me after school? I have something I should like your help with.
Not at all, but may I ask where we are going?
That's a secret.
And so she presented a second, more mischievous smile. Marple, where are we?
This is the Academy dormitory for girls. A friend of mine lives here, Angelica. She doesn't attend any special courses as we do. She's taken a leave of absence in the past on account of illness, but it's become more frequent of late. This time, she's been absent for 2 weeks straight.
Marple sighed as she looked up at the dorm.
I visited her last week, but I've heard she isn't getting any better, so I wanted to visit her again.
As any friend would, naturally. Now I know why Marple appeared so troubled before. I recalled what Marple was like in the classroom.
Then shall we go see her?
A surprise was upon us the moment we went to enter the building.
Mr. Avalon?
Sorry.
The student tried to run away, but Marple grabbed him by the arm.
You always respond so flippantly when storming headfirst into a lady. Where are your manners?
I'm sorry, miss, but I'm in a hurry.
He took away her grip and was quickly off before she could say more. What was that? He seemed to spring out from the dorm.
I'm not sure. Good. If you are to get hurt, people might say it's my fault to accompany me.
How should I read her being more concerned for that than me?
Well, shall we?
Oh, wait, Marple! I followed her into the dorm.
Do you guys hear anything, or is it just me?
I did not hear anything.
I did not hear anything.
Okay.
Frozen?
Sorry, I was muted. Son, can you please voice Angelica?
In a bed wearing a thick coat over a nightgown was a young girl. A sparkling smile awaited us the moment she saw her guest was Marple.
No need to get up, Angie.
Thank you. Can't believe my eyes.
Angelica gasped as she spotted me behind her friend.
Allow me to introduce you to a girl from my class. Her name is...
Miss Whiteley, isn't it? I saw you in the paper. It said you're Her Majesty's detective.
That's me, yes. Emily will do. You know who I am?
Yes, very well. I asked Sarah about you, but she only mentioned you were schoolmates. I didn't think she was paying me any mind. Oh, thank you, Sarah.
She just happened to come with me, that's all.
Now don't be shy. I know you brought her for me. It's exciting to meet a girl of such celebrity.
No, I wouldn't call myself celebrated. Celebrity? Even my hairs were burning from embarrassment.
I'm ever so delighted to meet you, Emily. I'm Angelica.
Well, Angelica, the pleasure is all mine. But smile she did. For my part, the sight was a rewarding one.
How I envy the two of you. I've had to stay in bed for quite some time.
That's it? I thought a student from the choir recently visited.
What? What makes you think that?
Her grin shifted to one now possessed by nerves, though she did attempt to mask the change.
When I visited you last, you never rose from your bed. But this time, well, you were sitting up and you're wearing a pretty nightgown. And there's dirt on the floor near the window that's roughly the size of a footprint. You're head of the choir, I believe, so I thought someone from there had visited you after school.
What? I can only assume the dirt is from my flatmate's shoes. I was thirsty, so I rose to put the kettle on, but when she returned, I asked if she could make me a cup instead.
Doubtful, the way Angelica's pupils danced, that there was a different story. Something is certainly going on with Angelica.
My apologies. I must have been confused.
That must be it. You've always been one to come up with silly theories. But I do miss the choir very much. I hope I can attend school again soon.
The air around her became heavy with a lonely gloom as she mumbled.
Angie, are you feeling unwell?
A bit nauseous, yes. My stomach hurts as well, and I still don't have an appetite.
Why not see another doctor?
You too? Pardon me if this sounds too direct, but I refuse to change doctors.
But I've not heard reputable things about that man.
Oh, those rumors, all very exaggerated. My lord, am I ever blessed. My flatmate fusses as much as you. She'll bake my favorite snacks to boost my appetite, but I always end up eating so little.
It must feel awful to not be able to indulge in your favorite snacks. The very thought depressed me.
Snacks? You ought to start eating something more nutritious. What if I bring you vegetable soup on my next visit?
Well, if it's your home recipe, it must taste delicious, I suppose.
Next time, then, you may indulge in my baked rings.
Against her soul, better food was swift in producing a carefully wrapped packet of her own sweets.
Can't wait! Oh, I wish my appetite were up for it now, but I shall eat some later. I promise.
A vigorous knocking on the door interrupted us. It opened immediately after.
Gregory?
Angie, I've made you some tea. You have guests.
The girl who entered the room twinkled with a question in her eyes.
Wait, what?
Oh. What?
Dude, I could not tell. I'm not gonna lie. Yo.
Femboy student.
I'll continue. We're gonna be consistent here? What's going on?
No, Nika can voice Elisa.
You have excellent timing. That's right, you weren't here during Sarah's last visit.
Angie, is this your flatmate?
The one and only. I'd like you to say hello to Elisa. She's in the choir with me.
It's nice to meet you.
Sarah Marple. This girl here is in my class, Emily Whiteley.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I heard plenty about you from both Angie and the paper Emily.
Oh, how lovely.
Lisa, Sarah's brought some baked goods. You can have some if you'd like.
Oh, and I do. I'll go make some more tea.
In no time at all, the four of us were intimately gathered with cups in hand.
By the by, Elisa is learning to make scones and jam. Her clotted cream is the best I've ever had. Its almond flavor complements the scones perfectly, and...
Oh, you won't get anywhere flattering me so much, Angie.
Take care not to spoil her, even if she is sick.
I would never. I've been sure to prepare healthy meals like vegetable soup and porridge and such. And she despises them, but I never stop nagging her till we eaten all of her carrots and celery. Oatmeal too.
Yuck! I never forget to take my medicine either.
Was it your doctor who advised you to watch what you eat?
How come? I've been seeing him since I was small.
Even when it's so close? How terrible! I do hope this will pass soon.
I would love that. I want to practice singing for the Christmas concert. And since I'm the head of the choir, I'd like to see how the other students are faring.
If only you were more dedicated with anything else as much as you are with choir.
Come on. Not a nice thing to say about a sick person, now is it?
She might have a point. Regardless, I wish you well enough to be able to attend choir practice soon.
her, much friendlier, as she conversed with these girls. In truth, visiting a girl's as was visiting a friend's bedroom. I became distracted by nearly everything around me, head turning this way and that to inspect what, precisely, made this place feel like Angelica and Elisa's. Excuse me, Angela. Would it be a bother if I were to browse through your room?
By all means, browse. Elisa, what do you think?
I don't mind.
Thank you. I approached the 2 trophies that I had noticed on the shelf as soon as I stepped into the room. Each one was labeled Silver Prize, Springbird Award. May I ask what these trophies are for?
Lisa and I won those after we placed second in a contest.
It was during our first year here, I recall.
Know more about it when we're better. And for catching something else on the shelf. There was a tiny brown bottle with a label I'd never seen before. King Shishinto and Psycho Keishito. What is this?
Find something interesting?
Perhaps I've been staring too intently. I had to declare Marple was watching until she spoke. I was, wondering what this is. I plucked the bottle from the shelf and showed it to her.
It's my medicine. My doctor recently prescribed it to me. It's a Chinese herbal medicine, I suppose. I've been told it was specifically blended for me.
So that's what that is. I wonder how it compares to Western medicine. I want to read the label. Fowl Clinic, same as her doctor's name she mentioned earlier.
Smells awfully funny, but it isn't so bad once.
Angelica?
Very suddenly, Angelica was attacked by a fit that refused to stop. Breaths between grew shorter and shorter, rousing panic for her company. Angelica!
Elisa, call the doctor.
Right away! Our fears worsened when Angelica slumped over. Convulsions, vomiting, slipping in and out of consciousness. Instinct told me that something wasn't quite right as we left Angelica's room. Marple, regarding Angelica's symptoms. Marple?
Oh, I was lost in thought. What was it you said?
She remained in a daze as we walked back to the academy. Well, something struck me regarding Angelica's symptoms. Do you know the name of her illness?
As far as I'm aware, no one knows.
Her symptoms are so distinctive, and no one's figured it out.
But in recent years, her condition was beginning to stabilize. She was finally starting to get better. She was taking less medicine and was finally starting to live a normal life. So why?
Her sadness was so apparent that my heart was roused. I want to help her. I'm going to check something about her symptoms. It's only a hunch, but the book Holmes showed this morning has found itself at the back of my mind.
You're a kind girl, Emily.
And so was she. Marple was grateful to me, but her kindness, Hidden beneath layers of those dullish features which expressed little on the surface was the inspiration that made me want to be kind. It's hardly trouble at all for my new friend. It's too late today, but we don't have any classes tomorrow. How would you like to do some investigating with me?
I'd like that. Do you have a place in mind?
I'm hoping to dive into some research. Well, questioning. So I should like to see Holmes and Watson at their Baker Street flat. We'll likely have some thoughts on the matter. Whom do I wish to speak with? I'll talk to Holmes. I like Watson more. He's easier to talk to, but I think Holmes may, I think I'd like Holmes' opinion.
I'm watching you, right?
He was the one who brought all that material to class, and no one else could best share his thoughts objectively. Marple nodded in agreement.
Very well. Then let's meet along Baker Street tomorrow.
"221 1B Baker Street was the address for Holmes and Watson's shared flat. They were one of several within a charming 3-story brick building which Marple and I now stood before. What a handsome little flat, and they've even room to spare to make it their office.
I've heard rumors that the landlady here is a young girl.
Young?
Does that bother you?
No, it would never.
Never? You certainly gave the impression that it did. Here we are.
Oh, oops! Marple made such a sudden stop that I nearly bumped into her. Conveniently, she ignored my clumsiness and knocked on the door. It only took a moment for the door to pinch.
Yes? I may, what are you two doing here?
Good afternoon, Holmes. I have asking, so I came here with Marple.
Does that have to be now? You can't wait until Mondays, surely I'm busy.
Please, Holmes, there's a case I'd like to solve, and your input would be quite valuable to me. For a short time, Holmes eyed myself and Marple back and forth. He then sighed his calm and exasperated sigh and opened the door to allow us in.
So what is it? Make it short and simple. She's had convulsions, vomiting, and slipping in and out of consciousness.
Do you know of any illnesses which could cause all those symptoms at once?
There aren't any, as far as I'm aware, no. No, it won't do to rush to conclusions. Adult-Stokes syndrome is similar, but only similar. Not exact. It wouldn't result in vomiting, if I'm honest. I find it difficult to think of anything that should cause all three. Does she have any clear injuries?
None that I'm aware of.
I see. What could it be, then?
Holmes paced around the room, one hand stroking his chin deep in thought. He then stopped and removed the research materials he had presented the day before from the shelf.
It reminds me more of a drug poisoning than illness.
Holmes continued as he leafed through the pages.
If it is indeed poison, several things could fit. Apricot, cowbane, poison nuts, aconite, and conium are the most likely candidates.
A variety of plants and their toxic symptoms were listed on the pages. Well, just to be certain, how simple would it be to mix one of these plants with medication?
Very simple. If one has the knowledge and skill, like a chemist perhaps.
That's my medicine. My doctor recently prescribed it to me. It's a Chinese herbal medicine, I suppose. I've been told it was specifically blended for me.
Fowl Clinic, same as the doctor's name she mentioned earlier. You're such a dear, Holmes. I'll bring you some delicious sweets next time.
I'd rather you not. Unlike you, I don't have any interest in...
Let us be off, Marple!
Right then. We'll see you in class, Holmes.
I left with Marple in a hurry. Our next destination was to be a fowl clinic. As Angelica described to us the afternoon before, it was but a short walk from the academy.
Dr. Avalon?
Yes, may I help you?
The doctor who greeted us was so ordinary in appearance that he was more dubious than unremarkable. Suspicion was weaved into his coat, which was wrinkled, and mistrust was brushed to his slovenly hair. The book stacked into mountains with a passion, but who cared little for company. Something told me to stay wary.
You are Angelica, Mayani's doctor, correct?
Yes, I am. What of it?
I'm a friend of hers, and if it isn't any trouble, would you tell me more about the medicine you prescribed?
Miss, she is my patient. I can't hand her chart to any stranger who comes in asking. And her condition is baffling me as much it is like... Oh my god. And her condition is baffling me as much as it likely baffles you.
I'm not a stranger. As I said, I'm her friend.
And as I said, she is my patient. You aren't the first one to make a clever excuse to get what they want from me. I'm her mother, I'm her lover, or I'm her pet, or whatever they please. I'm no fool.
I don't know of anyone who'd call themselves her pet. But we earnestly wish to save her, Doctor. Would you please help me, for this ring's sake? It was time to reveal the ring had been given by Her Majesty, but it had less of an effect than I prayed it would. He merely stared in silence, waiting for me to speak again. I beg you!
Are you giving that to me?
You misunderstand. Her Majesty the Queen gifted me the... But you must know, so this doesn't make sense. I was told that anyone would help me if I presented the ring.
What's that? Are you alright in the head? I'm afraid I don't provide treatment for mental illness.
Excuse me, but do you happen to read the paper at all?
I would never read such cheap entertainment. Baseless gossip every word. Can't trust it.
That solves it. Emily, I fear the request means nothing for those who haven't seen it in writing. That is the only place I recall her asking everyone to help you.
That's true. I read it there also. But even without it, he's being unreasonable. And how is there someone who doesn't read the paper in this day and age? Is he unliterate?
Emily, did you mean to ask if he was illiterate?
What? That's the one.
I don't suppose you've been using the wrong word till now.
Well, yes, it appears that I have. How silly of me.
Nothing else to ask? Off with you. Then, I've got work to do.
Against our best efforts, the door had been slammed in our noses before we managed to step inside. Well, this didn't go as I planned.
I'd rather not give up just yet.
Listen, we should ring for the yard and have him arrested.
Don't be so dramatic, Emily.
Doesn't this upset you?
Of course it does, but being upset does nothing to help. So, stay.
Oh, dash it. I'm not a puppy.
It was a joke, dear. Don't take it to heart. If you'll hear me out, that doctor has no motive for poisoning Angelica. One can surmise he's experimenting with new medicines on his patients. That's unlikely.
You're right. Were he doing such a thing on all his patients, he would have been caught much earlier, already in prison even.
Then what do you make of Angie's condition with that in mind, Emily?
I think, as we began to give more serious thought to the issue, we ran unexpectedly into someone we knew.
Why, hello, Miss Whiteley. Miss Marple? What brings you here?
Lupine, we could ask you the same. Though there were no classes today, he still wore his academy uniform.
This is a clinic, isn't it? So I came to see my doctor.
Are you sick then?
I feel nauseous. My stomach hurts. The clinic here is close to the academy, so it's a convenient place to visit whenever I have a problem. I was already close by since I had to go to the library, so I thought I might as well come here.
His symptoms are similar to Angie's. How do you feel?
Much better after my consultation with Dr. Fowl.
If you don't mind my asking, what medicine did he prescribe?
My medicine? I don't mind. A moment, please.
Lupine retrieved a small brown bottle from his pocket. Its label read, Heng Shashinto and Psycho Keishito. It's the same one!
You're right. It's just like Angie's.
Lupine, are you absolutely certain you feel better? Have you ever felt faint after taking that?
I'm not sure I understand. Why are you so worried about this? And I've been feeling wonderful. It's a miracle. How much better I felt since taking that medicine.
The answer took us both by surprise.
Whenever Dr. Fowl prescribes medicine, he gives each of his patients their own bottle. He always have this one with me when I goes to see him.
Then, Angelica has her own personal bottle as well.
I still haven't a clue as to what his motives would be, but if there's even a slight possibility, we must investigate.
Let's look at the contents of her bottle. Even if it turns out to be nothing, we'll have narrowed down the scope of our work. By the way, Lupine, what made you so sick in the first place?
Since I'm a student and I live alone, my landlady invited me and a few other students to her flat for a homemade meal. I began to feel nauseous after dinner. It turns out the mushrooms from the mountain she used in her cooking.
You didn't make a mess of things again, did you? Incur her wrath in some way?
I did no such thing! No! I wasn't the only one to fall ill. She and the other students did too. It was a disaster.
We should run along and see Angie.
Thank you, Lupine. Stay well.
Oh, thank you, I suppose.
As it had only been a day since Angie collapsed. Marple was gentle when she knocked on the door. Neither of us wished to disturb her unduly if she was able to get some sleep. The door slowly opened. Elisa was on the other side.
Good afternoon. I have something I'd like to borrow. May I step inside?
Certainly.
Marple was not nearly as gentle in thought with Angie's roommate, having forced the girl aside quite intentionally as she entered. I was able to spot Angelica sleeping through the gap in the door. To my relief, she looked at peace. I entered. The first thing to grab my attention was a tiny hard shell, barely noticeable with it being the size of one's thumb on the ground, just before the shelf. I don't know what about it intrigued me so, but intrigued I was, and so I plucked and examined it closely. What was this? Why did it feel so out of place? And why am I so bothered by it?
Emily, let's go.
Oh, are you finished?
We can leave now, yes. I've enough of it for us to examine.
Marple showed me a small bottle.
Come, I'm leaving.
Wait, Marple? And just what do you mean to examine it?
Isn't it obvious? We have need to a madman obsessed with data and a doctor in the making.
Holmes and Watson, then? Marple moved at an admirable speed for having such short legs. I was not tall myself, but it took considerable work on my end to not be left behind. We both stopped upon hearing a quarrel in the distance, however.
Avalon?
Don't lie to me, Rayfus! You're horrible! How could you be seeing two girls in the club? There's a line, and you've crossed it! I tried to look the other way for a clubmate, but I can't do that anymore!
Ugh.
Oh, man.
A girl was shouting at the top of her lungs with fury from the courtyard. That sounds rather serious.
Nika, go ahead.
Oh, Elisa and Angie? You see them both at the same time, and now Angie's ill. That's too much stress for the poor girl.
Rayfus, is that a boy's name?
I think so.
He's seen two girls. Could be a lesbian chat, I guess, but
Avalon, proceed.
Hardly. Her doctor is a quack. If she'd gone to a real doctor, she wouldn't have...
They were talking about Angie. I stepped forward with a sudden vigor to hear more. Marple? She had seized me by the arm before I could get far.
Don't, Emily.
What? Why? Her stare was so piercing that I couldn't move, even if I wanted. Realizing she must have something in mind, I acquiesced without protest, yet it wasn't long before we were noticed.
I haven't done anything wrong. I've been faithful. Huh?
He looked directly at me.
You're...
Oh, I recognize you.
Sorry.
It was the same boy who fled from the girls' dormitory just yesterday, and he made to flee the scene once more. Wait, did you come here from the...
Hold on a minute.
He hastily cut me off.
You know one another? Oh, is it that you're seeing 3 women?
No, please, listen. It's a misunderstanding.
Curious as I am by this affair, would either of you mind terribly if we asked about something else? We're in the midst of an investigation. If we can find the right answers, we might be able to save a friend of ours.
Of course not! You're Sarah Marple and Emily. Whiteley from the detective's course, I think. What would you like to know?
What can you tell me about Angelica, my aunt?
About Angie? I feel like I'm not the right person to ask. He's the...
If I may speak, I'm not seeing anyone else.
The other student, Polly the skeptic, watched him with a fuming scrutiny that hoped to counter any word that stood out to her as fiction. He continued with caution.
I have a serious relationship with Angie. I've been visiting her in her room because I've been worried about her.
So, you really are the one who visited Angie right before we arrived?
But boys aren't allowed in the girls' dorm. If someone were to find out, he would be expelled without delay. So that lie from